Good weekend? Stay warm? Hopefully. Stay warm-ish.
I had fun.
You good. That's good. Anybody use math? Excellent. Besides your homework. No, you can't count that. Because I made you. Oh, in that case, no, I didn't use math.
I did.
That's awesome. You did? Tell me how.
I calculated my age.
You calculated your age?
Yeah, I turned 20 yesterday.
Oh, so you like converted it to like minutes or something like that? Yeah, that's fun. I make my Math 105ers do that. Actually, not their age. I make them calculate when their billionth second birthday is going to be. Or when their billionth second is going to be. I shouldn't call it a birthday because it's not a birthday.
Yeah.
So you got a jump start on it there. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I calculated it out, so when Red Robins asked me how old I was, I told them in minutes.
That's awesome. And then you make them like, God, I hate math.
No, they just said the minutes.
Oh, they were okay with that? They're like,
Yeah.
whatever, here's your, what do you get when it's your birthday?
Yesterday?
What do you get at Red Robin when it's your birthday? You get something special?
You get a free burger, and you also get a free sundae.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
it's
That's
free.
doubly good. Do you get free oatmeal?
Yeah.
I already ate oatmeal
Put that there, I'll eat that later.
with sausage.
All right. Anybody else use math this weekend? Tell me how. Wait, Ellie, right?
Yeah.
Ellie, tell me your name again.
Darcy?
Darcy, please tell me how to use math.
Well, I was at the bookstore the other day, and I was trying to calculate how much these books were in total.
Oh, nice. That's super smart. You ever been to the store and you get to the register? What bookstore were you at?
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes & Noble's over at the Stall Shopping Center. It's such a toy store, isn't it? You walk in there, it's like, oh, I'm home. It's like the best thing, like a library. But you ever get to like the register when you're at the store and you bring your stuff up and you check it through and they're like, oh, that'll be $130, and you're thinking to yourself, that cannot be $130. There's no way that's right. And that's why something like Darcy just said is so good. Hey, DS, something like what Darcy just said is so good because you can kind of get a rough idea of how much the total of something is. So when you go to the store and check out, you're like, oh yeah, that's about what it should be. That's wonderful. May I tell a story related to that where math can actually help you? Okay, go back in time 2 decades, maybe more. Yeah, about 2 decades. My wife and I are sitting down with the lady at the bank figuring out our payment for our first house. Like, we're gonna buy our first house. And, you know, we're nervous as hell, because like, we can't really afford it. I don't know if we can afford this, I don't know if we can afford this. And she's got, I don't know if anybody uses these anymore, but she had one of those calculator things where she was hitting a bunch of numbers, pressing enter, hitting a bunch of numbers, like basically a calculator, an adding machine, I think they were called back in the day. Way back in the day, they had like a roll of paper attached to them, and they would print out what they were adding, and she didn't have that, she was just adding, and she was adding up all the costs that would go into our mortgage payment, our monthly payment that we had to pay on our house, and she got done, hit enter, and I was watching her, and she said, okay, and she said a number, and I'm like, that's way too much, and she's like, no, I did the math, and I'm like, I know, but that should not, that's like twice what it should be. She's like, I'll do it again, and she did it again, and she said the same number, and I was like, Fran, that cannot be right, and I'm like, do it again, and I watched her hand this time, and what she did was, she multiplied one thing by 2, which she was supposed to do, and she hit enter, but then she hit enter a second time after that, which doubled it again. So she actually was making a math error, but that number was about to go on our mortgage statement, which would legally have bound us to be paying it. Now granted, assuming that we survived, we would have paid our house off in less than half the time, but we wouldn't have been able to survive the payment, it would have buried us. So that kind of math, Darcy, is important when you're paying attention to that kind. So thank you for that, I appreciate that very much. Anybody else? Even math a little bit. No? Did you fill up your car and try to predict how much it was going to cost? That's always fun. Like how much it's going to hurt when you put gas in your car. Although, are gas prices going down or going up right now? They're going up. I guess it maybe depends. Is Space Age still the cheapest place to get it? On the north end of town?
Yeah, I think so.
Space Age. If anybody's unaware, Space Age, my wife figured this out because she's the brains of this family. If you go if you're on 97 heading out of Bend, Space Age right there on the west side of 97 generally has among the cheapest gas in town. They have diesel too. Is diesel, anybody drive diesel? Nobody drives diesel, okay. For a while we had a diesel truck and because it gets better mileage, and it always blew me away that diesel costs more than gas sometimes. That makes absolutely no sense because there's less work that goes into making it. But, Chris, what do you think about right now? You're thinking of something?
What am I thinking about?
Yes, right now. Just that face, you're like, I'm thinking about something. You're just taking it all in.
Yeah.
Good morning.
40 bucks to fill up my car, I run it to empty all the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. And it's tricky though because so if you go to empty and it takes 40 to fill it,
Yeah.
what is some information that's missing? Because that sounds pretty cheap, doesn't it, in this day and age? Now, if I go back in time to when I was playing music semi-professionally, gas was just over $1 a gallon. And we could actually afford to, I know, right? We could actually afford to play shows, you know, way back in the 90s. I mean, for points in there, it was actually less than $1 a gallon sometimes, which was insane. Like, I remember Brian one time, he whooped on tour because we were really getting low on cash, and he whooped because we were in like Georgia or something. And he's like, look, 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 look. The gallons are more than the dollars, which means that it's less than $1 a gallon, which hasn't happened probably in 25 years or more now, 30 years almost. But when you say it costs 40 bucks to fill a tank, that sounds really good, right? But what if your tank's only 10 gallons?
It's 12.
It's 12, there you go, exactly. So there's a piece of information that is missing from that statement, which I love. Thank you for sharing with us. It's a 12-gallon tank. That tells us something about how much gas costs per gallon, doesn't it? If it costs 40 bucks to fill, and it's a 12-gallon tank. If we only knew it was 40 bucks, there's a piece of information missing that we still need. So thank you for that. Thank you for knowing that too. I wonder how many of us know how the size of the capacity of our tanks in our cars. It's probably one of those things like, I have it written down. We're gonna use it in a lesson later. But I ride a bike most of the time, so my capacity's right here for the most part. And that's my gasoline. Good, so we used some math this weekend. Hell yeah, well done. I used a new, I wanted to make a plum cobbler for Jen, and I had to use a new recipe, but I had to double it. So I had to use some math too, that was kind of fun. I was talking to my mother on the phone while I was, my Italian mother who loves baking. I called her, I'm like, guess what I just harvested? And she's like, oh, the plums. We had a good time talking. I was talking to her doing the math, and I actually screwed one up, and she caught it. She's like, oh, it's not 3/4 anymore. You have to double that, Sean. So you should really put in,
1.5.
what's 3/4 double, people? I had to put in 3 cups of sugar, 3/4 of a cup of sugar into the recipe, but I doubled it. What's 3/4 double?
1.5.
I got 1.5, I got 1.5, I got 1.5, good. 6/4, right? 6/4, better known as 1.5. Now, how many of you, and there's no problem with doing this, if you got a 3/4 cup measuring,
Just do it twice.
you do it twice, boom, no math needed. But the 3/4 cup at our house went missing a long time ago. I have no idea, I blame the cats. I think they stole it somewhere.
The
Bastards.
cats?
Cats steal everything, it's amazing how much crap they steal.
They're kleptos.
They totally are. Like, plays it, Mercury plate. And it just goes disappearing in a plant somewhere. All right, so speaking of cooking, how was the homework with the plum ice cream? Was it okay? Good. Good, hopefully it wasn't intended to be an uber tricky homework. It was just, again, to show you the math behind fractions and how you actually use it from time to time. I mean, you use it more than you realize. When I asked the question, how many of you used math this weekend? I bet you a lot of you did, but you don't realize that you did. It happens almost subconsciously. And that's really what this class is kind of like, is let's figure out all those ways and let's tighten them down a little bit. Like hopefully by the end, when I say something like, if you double 3/4, what is it? And everybody's gonna come with 1.5 really, really quickly. Really, really, really quickly. Cool, let's hand those in then, if you got them. Yeah, let's get them. We'll get yours in a second, Chris, no problem, no problem. I totally, tell them to be safe. Tell them to be safe coming up here, okay? This traffic can be really, really bad. That's right, I forgot I printed this on green. Oh, thank you very much. I love the umlaut, by the way. I'm so damn happy with the umlaut. That makes me, you have no idea how that makes me. It's just,
I was told.
thank you. It's just, yeah. I think Allie started it. Because I don't think, it didn't register with Ben, I don't think. Maybe. I'm pretty sure it was Allie. Thank you, Did you do a stapler? We're gonna have your classmates here. I'm gonna add that to it as well. There we go. Beautiful. Yeah, this little stapler. Oh, there it is over there. Yes. Journals were fantastic. Thank you for them. Thank you for your words. Thank you for telling me. Some of you told me tons of stuff, which was great. More than I expected, which was awesome. I loved hearing it. I definitely got some of the usual kind of apprehensions, kind of like, oh, okay, it's a math class, I'm a little bit scared. But that's okay. That's okay. I hear that tons. And the good news is I watched those kiddos graduate. So you get through this class, and hopefully you end up, if not liking math, I'm not gonna make anybody like math, but I always hope you do, and at least you see how it's useful as we move through the class. So good. So yeah, that's our second homework assignment, I guess. I'll get that in the books. Everybody get their progress reports last week from me. Hopefully you got 2 emails from me at the end of the week. Get a progress report and then a wrap-up email. And you can always respond to those. If you have questions, you can always respond right to those, and I'll get back to you. Ah, you didn't, Rebecca? Did you not get it?
I can't log in.
Oh, you still can't log in? So you can't get the Blackboard. What have they told you? Have they solved that? Have they given you any kind of a, we're working on it?
Yeah, my email's put in wrong, so I can go there today and get it.
Oh my God, I can't believe it's now Monday and it's still not fixed. Okay, well, when you do get in, you'll have emails waiting for me. And you'll be able to log into Blackboard and all that good stuff. I apologize, that's taking wait. That should happen instantaneously. I don't know why this is taking so long. Sorry. Oh, speaking of which. Do you know who you're talking to, by any chance?
Nope.
Okay. Did you talk to somebody in Boyle, or did you?
Hi, dear.
One of the lab attendants? Okay, let me ask Brian. Ooh, that's a fun pen.
How's it fun?
Well, it's like purple. And it's like a pencil pen. Huh.
Awesome.
Yeah. Brian about Rebecca's email. Okay, just writing some notes down for myself. And Jackie's HDMI. Okay. Okay. You want to warm up? Yes. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. It's a quickie. It's just 5 more proportions so you can practice methods 1 and 2. Because we're going to use those today in class. We're going to use those. I mean, proportions are pretty much throughout the entire class. I mean, that's why I like starting with them and kind of diving into it. You're welcome. And you can use method 3, 4, 5, whatever. I think Chris, you came up with a different one if I remember correctly. I forget. Somebody came up with different methods, which is totally fine. Use whatever you want. Here you go, my friends. 1 for each of you. 1 for each of you. There you go. And I'll return some stuff. Here we go, my friend. Right, I'm gonna return some stuff while you're doing that. Elizabeth. Amelia. Hi. I'm right here. I probably don't yell anyway. I could just do. And I could probably pause the camera for this. Absolutely, go right ahead. Maybe over there. Is there a plug right there? Wherever there's one close. I see one on that wall over there. Just like I'm gonna turn this off for now, okay? Oh, that's probably horrifying. She saw my face up that close.